What's going on, you guys? It is your girl, Dayna Patreace, aka the Black Fairy, and I am here with another video. Today, I want to talk about how to stop rushing the process. So many of us are rushing the process, and I get it. We want our lives to change, but it's not really helping you. Okay, and we're going to get into that right now. So, yeah, let's do that.
Yes, I fall in love with myself, and I want someone to share it with me. I want someone to share me with me.
Okay, so I was just doing some, light shadow work, and I came across a video from Abraham Hicks that really made me want to do this video. Because I think, especially now, where we are in a time where things are changing rapidly, a lot of us are very concerned with where we are, where we're going, how we're going to get there, things like that. And I think it's important to remember, one, who you are, okay? Two, rushing the process is actually pushing it further away. And three, you don't have to worry. You really, really don't, right? So I said the first thing was remembering who you are. You are a child of God, okay? You are a piece of source energy. You and your higher being can accomplish anything you put your mind to. In fact, when you ask the universe for something, your higher self, that source being that resides inside you, that higher being, right? It goes to work right away. It already knows what to do. In unforeseeable, I don't know why, I'm always stumbling over my words. All these unforeseeable circumstances and situations, your source being sees it all, and it knows the direction in which you need to go. All you have to do is tap in and tune in to really get that going. So there's no reason for you to be worrying and pushing through and, rushing the process. Number two was how rushing the process is actually pushing it away. When you're going after something, right, that you desire, that you want to manifest, and yes, you should actively pursue it. But when you're trying to rush the process, as in, sometimes like you make a decision. Day one, you make that decision. You're hyped, you're ready, you're asking the universe, right? You start doing all these things, and then the next week, you get down on yourself because you're not where you thought you'd be. You're not where you want to be, right? You start rushing, you start doing things impulsively. When you get opportunities, you may think to yourself, I can't do that, or how am I going to make that happen? There's a lot of doubt in your pursuit of what it is that you're doing. That's why you're trying to rush through things instead of just simply allowing them to come to you, allowing yourself to attract whatever it is you desire to you. Again, not saying you shouldn't put in work towards your desires, but when you're trying to rush through the work, when you don't automatically see results on whatever timeline you've given yourself, it can actually impede your progress, right? As you're pushing for something, you're actually pushing it away. That anxiety and you needing to get it done, and by this time, doing it this particular way, it's holding you back. It's keeping you in a place of doubt, and the universe can't deliver to you what you want if that is the vibration you are on. So some of us are rushing towards things, but it's actually pushing it further and further away from us, where we should just be in a state of faith and belief and knowing that whatever it is that we are doing, the universe is constantly working in your favor, right? So a lot of us lose track of that sometimes, especially when we get this idea in our head and we have a particular plan. I say let go of the plan. Do the work, let go of the plan, and just let the universe set it up. Because let me tell you something, your spirit guides, your higher self, they know what they're doing. And they have ways of making things happen and occur that you could not fathom. So your job is to keep a high frequency as you're going towards what it is that you desire, keeping a positive attitude so that you are your best self and that you are prepared for when the universe delivers it to you, because I promise you, if you've asked for it, it's coming and it's trying to make its way to you. But it's hard because you're not allowing it, just because you may have some type of perceived notion of how it's going to be received or how it should be received. The third thing I said, you don't have to worry, right? That goes into what I was just saying. You don't have to worry. You don't have to worry about the particulars, right? Spirit is going to work through things and work out things for you that you don't even know. And even remember, even when things are seemingly going wrong, they're going right. Because Spirit is either trying to teach you a lesson or give you a blessing. And when you release and let go and don't allow yourself to be in a worried frequency, you see those results a lot quicker. Now, I want to say that I am not above this. I'm not saying this to put myself on a pedestal or act like I don't deal with this. This is exactly why I'm talking about it, because I do deal with this, just like you may be dealing with it. You know, I am constantly on a pursuit of happiness, and I'm learning to just be happy today, right now, instead of thinking of the future happiness that I want. Yes, I still journal and manifest my future, but I'm also happy right now, especially because I know that it's coming. I finally accepted that I don't have any control. And again, I finally accepted it, but it's still something that I struggle with sometimes. I am at fault for doing those same things that I'm giving my advice on. And that's why I'm here giving this advice. Because I understand that there's people like me that may be in the same situation that may need to hear this message. You don't have to worry. You don't have to be afraid. You got this. Spirit got you. And knowing that and understanding that will take you to levels beyond. Now, for me, this applied to a lot of different things that I was going after. For instance, my diet and my weight. You know, I used to try to rush the process, right? Like, I'm going to work out, I'm going to get this body, I'm going to do this, that, whatever. And I still have goals. But I've let go of certain aspects of dieting and just trying to change my eating habits, just trying to do better. Also, just being more open. And allowing myself to just be, not being so hard on myself if I didn't do a great job one day. Like sometimes we go through a diet or a fast, or we're just changing our lifestyles in general, and you know, we fall off. We fall off, we stumble. We get that cheese pizza with all the meats and everything on it, and you're trying to be vegan. I'm not trying to be vegan, but you know, that's something that could possibly happen with diet. Or you're fasting and you were going for 3 days, but you only lasted 2. Some people, they look at themselves and they're like, I'm a failure. I can't do this. I can't stop. And I'm here to tell you that that's completely normal. You know, it's easy to sit on YouTube and talk about, yes, I pushed through. But people often forget to really show their humanity in regards to sharing this aspect and sharing their stories and sharing their triumphs, and not realizing that they probably fell off the wagon too. You know, got frustrated, got distracted. Life happens. You may not have been able to work out as much. I know for me, in this moment that I'm making this video, I have fallen behind on my workout routine. You know, and I've been super lazy about getting back into it. I was on such a roll, but I'm not going to stop. I've changed, I've done it, and it was a battle. This is not the first time that I've fallen off either. I started before the summer of 2021, working out because I wasn't happy with my body. I didn't like what I saw in the mirror. And I began my journey. I fell off several times, but I got back up again. And each time I got back up and tried again and went back on the path of, you know, fitness and just feeling better and getting more towards the body that I want to have, I lasted longer each time. So each time you're going to have better endurance. So I want you to pick yourself up when you fall off the bicycle and get right back on. You know, maybe not right away, but get back on and allow yourself to try again. And trust me, you will do better soon. Just like when you started riding that bike, you will be pedaling nonstop and you'll not even remember what it was like to fall off. So I want to encourage you to stop rushing that process and allow yourself the time and the grace to grow into who you're becoming. Right? A lot of us want it to be automatic, and it's just not. You are changing yourself from years of being who you are and who you were. So give yourself time, give yourself the grace. You deserve it. You are worthy of it, and it's normal. Sometimes when setting and achieving goals, you know, like business planning, for instance, even with this channel, I fell off a little bit. I wasn't posting any content. I wasn't making time to record, and there was a lot going on. But look at me. I'm getting right back on the wagon. I have new ideas from the experiences that I went through that will give me more content and help me make this channel flourish. There's nothing to worry about. I don't need to get down on myself. I don't need to rush because I'm not where I said I would be and I didn't do as many videos as I said I would. I'm just hopping back on that bicycle and I'm riding towards the end game, doing the best I can with where I am today, holding myself accountable, and keeping my eyesight in line with my goals. I don't know why I'm struggling to talk today, y'all. You know, another thing would be relationship goals. You know, some of us, we have this idea for our relationships and the goals that we want to have. I feel like you should loosen up and allow yourself to just enjoy the relationship, enjoy the ride, enjoy day by day. Yes, make future plans, know where things are going, make sure that you and your partner are on the same wavelength and that you're able to be eye to eye on what it is that you want and where you guys are going. But then once you have that settled in, allow yourself to enjoy it. Don't be on a time clock watching the time, making sure things are moving as on time to what you desire, and just enjoy the process. And remember that you are so powerful, that your positive, beautiful, loving, light energy will bring all that you desire to you. Right? So as long as you're willing to stay within the frequency of receiving and knowing that you're worthy of receiving, you will receive. Even in relationships, diets, business goals, this can be attributed to whatever it is you're pursuing. You know, it's super easy to get depressed and to get anxious because we really want to change. We really want to see a difference, right? But it's kind of like planting that seed. You want to plant a seed. You have this planting and it's ready to go. You bury it. It's good to go. Right? Let's say it's strawberries. Okay? You planted a beautiful strawberry plant and you cannot wait for those delicious strawberries. Right? You plant it in the morning and then by that evening you go outside and you stare at the ground and you're like, well, where are you? I'm hungry. I want strawberries. You dig it up. What's happening? How come you're not? Okay, let me put you back. I'm going to bury you. Then you come back a week later. Why aren't you here yet? It takes time, right? You probably dig it up again and then notice that, oh, look. It's growing a little root. It is. Okay, let me get it back in here. Let me bury it again. And you just keep coming back, checking and checking. No, you don't need to check. You planted the seed. The universe heard you. Now wait with your arms open wide to receive. Do what you need to do in order to receive. Prepare yourself for when it gets there, so that you're able to be true to who you are and what you want and what you desire. You do not have to rush this process. You do not have to keep checking back. You just have to have the continued faith and hope and love, frequency, energy that source comes to you with, that source embodies. And once you tap into that, you'll be just fine. You will be just fine. You will start to I don't know what is wrong with me. You will start to see things manifest, and the sooner you release yourself from the anxiety and the depression and all these strict rules that you have on yourself for how long it should take and when it should be. I mean, you should have an idea of what your goals are, and as you work towards them, as long as you're further than you were from when you made that goal, I think you should absolutely take pride in yourself. Take pride in yourself and take pride in what it is that you're doing and who you're becoming, because you did work to get yourself to where you are now. And as you continue to work, the blessings will be delivered, you guys. I really want you to understand it and believe that, especially in this time. It's super important that we remember how powerful we truly are. Speaking of the times that we were in, I understand as well that there's this urgency to change right now, to change and to get on board and to tap into the right frequency. Don't get left behind, okay? But don't let that anxiety-driven messages get to you. And not all of them are anxiety-driven. Some people are genuinely just trying to help you stay focused and help you navigate through these emotions as we are traveling through these energies and changes. We are literally at the apex of a turn of a century. Things are changing. We are headed into a new world. And we do have say in regards to how that will end up. Not so much in regards of what we do, but how we feel and what frequency we are resonating on and what frequency we are working with and what we are envisioning for ourselves. Because how you envision your future and the future for the world impacts what comes. So if you're envisioning zombie apocalypse and hatred and war, that is what you will contribute to manifesting. We are going through right now a serious time split. I've spoken about this on my other channel. When we first stepped into the age of Aquarius, a lot of people were talking about it and are still talking about it, right? You've got to be on the right frequency. You cannot be thinking like that, preparing for that, and expect this beautiful age of Aquarius, that promotes peace and a time of love and a time of like literal peace on earth. You can't bring those feelings to this side. That doesn't exist over there. So it can't exist within you. And I understand being prepared for events. You should be prepared for events regardless of what's going on in the world, whether we're at peace, we're at war. You should just be prepared because things happen. Right? But your focus should be on preparing for the future you're creating for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Don't allow the negativity and fear that they're trying to push through on you to penetrate. And I know it's hard. It's hard for me sometimes. I've had to literally stop watching certain things, stop interacting with certain groups and things like that because it was just becoming too much. Something that I did to keep myself informed now has become something toxic because, again, it's all pushing that narrative of fear when I need to concentrate on love, when I need to concentrate on attracting, a better life. And, because in these times, in the past, where things have happened like this and the Great Depression has happened and things like that, people were changing their lives. People were evolving. People turned out on the other end of these situations wealthy, and not just in the sense of money, but in love and other aspects of abundance that we all crave and desire to, have in our lives here on this earth. And you've got to allow yourself to tap into that frequency if you truly want to get there, if you truly want to be on the right timeline. You've got to allow yourself to align yourself with these things and these frequencies and even like-minded individuals and people. I do have some tips, if you'd like to hear them, on how you can kind of navigate through it. For instance, when it comes to your goals, give yourself time to work out those goals. If you've made a recent decision to change your life, to change how you're going to do things, and to pretty much be happier, I want to encourage you to really take the time to discover what that looks like. I purchased a journal, a goals journal. And when I started it, I thought I was going to go through it quickly as far as the portions where you really create your goals, and it asks you questions as to, what is it that you desire? How do you plan to get there? And it asks you a whole sorts of questions. I'll leave a picture right here. I was supposed to bring it, but I forgot. So I'm just going to post a picture of it right here. But the journal really triggered me in the sense of like, wow, some of these questions I've never thought of. I've never thought about it. And I thought to myself, I've got to figure this out. And I started getting really stressed out about it. But then I did my morning routine. I was like, I left it alone for a second, for a few minutes. And I started into my daily routine. And after I meditated, I sat down and I really sat with my higher self. And my higher self is like, it's great that you want to make a change. But give yourself the grace and time to figure out what that exactly looks like for you. For instance, in this goals journal, there's the part where they ask you questions about your goals for relationships, business, everything, right? And you write it out, because we all know if you want to manifest something, one of the best things you can do is write that shit down. Okay, so you write it out. And then there's also a calendar for the year to help you to, make a schedule for yourself, help you to stay focused on your goals, on a monthly, weekly, daily basis, right? So we're in February, and I haven't completed the portion of like what my goals are, because a lot of the questions that they asked me I hadn't really thought about, and I wanted to take the time to figure it out. And I was thinking to myself, I'm passing by time. For instance, in January, I wanted to start January right away, but I didn't quite figure out certain aspects, right? So we're in February now as I'm recording this video, and I haven't really written anything because I'm still figuring out. And my higher self reached out to me and said, Dayna, let's say it took you a year to figure out what your perfect life would look like. What's the problem with that? You would have gone from the goal of wanting to change your life and knowing exactly what that looks like for you, if it even took a year, which I don't think it would take me, but it put me at ease. I was like, wow, I don't have to stress about this so much. I will figure it out. And I work on it daily. Like daily, I answer one of the questions, and I sit down. I answer one or two questions, and I sit down. Sorry, I know I repeated myself, but I wanted to say not just one question. I do a couple, or I try to do a page or so, depending on how many questions are in the page. But I just answer as much as I can every morning to the best of my ability for where I am right now. I also reread what I've written so that I can continue the story that I'm telling myself about this life that I'm building, and the goals that I have, and what that looks like, and what it will take to do it, and all that stuff, right? So I'm in February, and I'm still working it out. I'm still taking the time to figure out what that looks like, because if your vision isn't clear, then how can you clearly receive something? You know what I'm saying? So that's where I'm at right now. I'm trying to get super clear and very specific on what it is that I want, and what I want to obtain, how I want to obtain it, what I will do to obtain it, all these things, right? Things that I could possibly do to get there. Whatever the case may be, I'm working it all out. I'm giving myself the time. Now, I felt a ways at first, because I was like, well, I don't think I know what that looks like for me. And that super bothered me, okay? It bothered me intensely. But when my higher self came to me and was like, no, like, think about that. What does that look like for you? You know, it gave me strength. It gave me a foundation. And this time around, I want my foundation to be solid. I mentioned in my last video, which was, what video was my last video? Why it's okay to be the villain sometimes. I don't think that's the exact wording of the title, but it was about, how I like being the villain and how it's necessary sometimes. It gave me a solid foundation into who I want to be, and also just a solid foundation in how to make that happen. Another thing you can do, and I highly recommend this, is to do some shadow work, okay? Do some shadow work. Figure out why you're so anxious and trying to rush towards something that is already yours, okay? Because it is already yours. Ask and it is given. It's already yours. When you do that, you address the anxiety, you address the depression, you address what needs to be addressed in order for you to move forward. Why am I feeling this anxiety? Why am I depressed about this? After all, this is your future. This is what you desire. This is what you want. You should be excited. You shouldn't be sad. You shouldn't be in a place of anxiety where you're scared and afraid. You should be open, welcome, loving, ready to receive. So shadow work, even if you don't know what shadow work is, it's when you really evaluate what's going on with the negativity in your heart and mind and spirit and soul. You really dissect what it is that you are attempting to get out of this. Like, what is this giving me? How can I be better? Where is this coming from? And how can I stop it from making me feel the way that I feel? Especially to the point where I don't even want to go for the goals that I truly desire, or that I don't believe that I'm worthy to have these goals that I truly desire. Where did that come from? Why do I feel that way? Why am I saying these negative things to myself? And if you allow yourself to really listen as you ask yourself these questions, you would be surprised at the answers, and you will get answers. You will receive an answer. You may not want to confront that answer. You may want to brush it off because you may not want to deal with it, but the sooner you deal with it, the sooner things can change and the sooner things can happen for you. So yeah, I want to encourage you to give yourself time to dream up the life that you desire. If you don't know all aspects, that's fine too. Work on the aspects that you do know. And I'm telling you, more will come. Because once you start welcoming in the blessings, once you start allowing yourself to trust in your spirit team and in your spirit, in your inner being, you will see the changes and you will not regret a thing, I promise you. I mean, you can't expect to change all the aspects of who you are overnight, in a month, in even a year. When you've been that way for years at a time, whether you're watching this as a 16-year-old, a 21-year-old, a 25-year-old, a 30-year-old, a 40-year-old, a 60-year-old, it doesn't matter, you know? What matters is how you feel. And when you've been a certain way for a certain amount of time, you can't expect to change all of that overnight. Give yourself some time and grace, as I keep saying. Another tip is to not compare yourself to others. This is not a competition. You didn't come here to compete with all these people. You came here to grow, evolve, and learn some beautiful, amazing lessons by interacting with the people here and living a life here. Right? You came to conquer your fears. You came to conquer other things about you. Some of you may even have just come here to have a goddamn vacation. Okay? Whatever the reason you are here for that purpose, and you will find it out the minute you decide to just release and let go and receive. Another thing I want to say is to expect relapses. I think I kind of already mentioned it, but I want to reiterate that again. Relapses aren't failure. They happen to all of us. embrace it, and learn the lesson from it, and then evolve. You are, again, deserving of all that you desire. You are worthy of all that you desire. Please learn to open your arms and welcome it in, and not have so much fight in how you're going to receive it. Anyways, that's it for now. I don't think I've said it, but if I haven't, please like, share, comment, subscribe, and click that notification bell. Leave your comments below. What do you think? Is this something that you've struggled with? Is it just me? I don't think I'm by myself, but let me know if I am. Don't be down there being rude. Of course, if you have things to add, or if you think I missed certain things, put it down in the comments below. Let me know. Give me some ideas. You know, we're here to pour into each other. Other than that, I don't know what to say. I love you. I believe in you. You've got this. Remember, don't rush the process. Enjoy the process. Enjoy it, and know that all the things that you desire are on their way to you. I think I'm just tired, y'all. I'm doing this kind of late. I wanted to make sure I got it done. It's all good, though. I love you again. I believe in you again. And you got this again. Okay? We'll talk soon.